Hello my dear students, welcome to my channel. Today I will discuss about the pressure in fluids and atmospheric pressure, which is in ICSE class 9 chapter number 4. So let's start the topic. First topic is the pressure in fluids. To understand the topic, you have to learn what is thrust. I think you are listening the term for the first time, but no, you have listened it. See, in previous classes you have read about the force. What is force? The push or pull of an object. The simple definition, push or pull of an object is called force. This is a very important topic. And the unit of the force is Newton or dyne in CGS unit we read. But what about the thrust? See, we read the force is a vector quantity, isn't it? Force is a vector quantity, means it has magnitude as well as the direction. But the direction can be in which direction? If we ask the question, the direction of force, see, so many directions are possible. Any arbitrary direction is possible. There is no only any one particular direction. Okay, so it has a direction. But if we draw a diagram, suppose this is one surface where the force is acting perpendicularly, and here on the same surface force is acting at an angle 60 degree. Okay, and the third case, here the force is acting like this. Okay, all the magnitude of the force is 10 Newton. Here also F is 10 Newton. This is the F. This is F, and this is also F. This is also 10 Newton. But the directions are different. Are you getting my point? Here, the directions of the force are different. Now, see, in between that three diagrams, one diagram will define one diagram will give the idea about the force, idea about the thrust. Which one? See, I am choosing this first diagram. When the force acts perpendicularly on the surface, then the force is called the thrust. Again, when the force acts perpendicular on the force, then we can say that force is called the thrust. So the definition, thrust is the force acting perpendicularly, this sign I am giving, on the surface. Okay, so thrust obviously thrust is a force. That force, when it will act perpendicular on the surface, then we can say that force is called the thrust. Now here, see, it is called the thrust, and the magnitude, it has also direction. This is also the vector quantity. As the force is the vector quantity, so thrust will be also vector quantity. So it has a magnitude as well as the direction. So the magnitude will be how much? For this case, magnitude will be 10 Newton. Okay, and the direction will be downward, you can say. Otherwise the direction is the perpendicular on the surface, that also you can say. Okay. Now in second case, what is the value of the thrust? In second case, see, here the force is making some angle. So what will be the value of thrust? We read thrust is the force which acts perpendicular on the surface. That is called thrust. But here that force is not applied perpendicularly with the surface. So how to calculate the value of the thrust? See, here one new idea, one new concept I am giving. When the force is making some angle, here suppose this is the force F which is making some angle with the ground. Suppose one box is pulling, means the force is making some angle theta. Now when the force is making some angle theta, so it will displace. But in which direction that will displace? Obviously in this direction. So that's why that force has two components. This is the new idea you will get in class 10. Now you will try to learn when the force is making some angle with the ground. Suppose there is a box, okay, and the force is applied to move the box at an angle theta, but the box will move. If you apply the force like that time also the force will move. That time the angle is theta, but here I have taken, here the angle is theta, here angle is 0 and here angle is theta. Suppose I have taken. Now the box will move in that direction. So there will be two components, which is, this one is the horizontal component and this is the vertical component. And the value of that horizontal component will be f cos theta and this will be f sin theta. Now obviously you will ask the question, how say you are writing this f cos theta and f sin theta over here? See, the explanation is, this is the diagram when the force is making some angle. Suppose this is the box and I am telling this component is called the horizontal component is the f cos theta. Why? See, suppose this is the force, draw a normal on that horizontal component. So this angle will be 90 degree and opposite to the right angle it is called the hypotenuse. So a name I am giving A, B and C. That AB is called the hypotenuse and this is the base, we know. Now this angle is the theta. So if we want to find the cos theta, actually which one do we need? This one. So cos theta is the base, means AC divided by hypotenuse AB. What is the value of AB? Which is the F? See, F. So we can write that AC divided by F. So what is the value of AC? F cos theta. In the same way, we can find out the value of AD also. To find the value of vertical component, I will draw the same diagram over here. This is F, this is suppose A, D, AD I am giving, A, B and C was there. Okay. So this angle was theta. Now how much the value of this angle? This is, we can say 90 minus theta. So we need to find that AD means vertical component. So here again the same rules I will apply over here. Draw the normal from the F. So this angle will be 90 degree. As this is 90, so the opposite AF means opposite arm is called the hypotenuse. So now the same I will apply, cos 90 minus theta equals to, that time cos theta I have applied, but here this angle will be 90 degree. So cos 90 minus theta, this is the base, this is hypotenuse, base is AD, hypotenuse how much? F, cos 90 minus theta which is sin theta equals to AD divided by F. So AD equals to F sin theta. Okay. So the horizontal component, the value of horizontal component AC equals to F cos theta and the vertical component AD equals to the F sin theta. Okay. So one thing I'll say over here, which one will be horizontal and which one will be vertical. Here, as this angle is the theta, so AC is called the horizontal component and ED is called the vertical component. Now if we draw the diagram like this, suppose F, this one is F and the F is making angle with the normal, then this will be horizontal component and this will be vertical component. Clear? Means that time this will be F cos theta and vertical component will be F sin theta. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now I will discuss about the second diagram. Here in this case, the force is making some angle which is 60 degree. Means here if we ask the question, what is the value of the thrust? What I told, when F is making angle 60 degree, then you have to divide in two components, which is which one is the, one will be horizontal and another will be vertical. So this one is the horizontal component and this will be vertical component. Now we need to find only the horizontal component, because thrust we want to find. What is the definition of thrust? Thrust is the force acts perpendicular on the surface. So we need the perpendicular component. No need to but we need only the horizontal component. Sorry, we need only the horizontal component, but here no need to find the vertical component over here. Now the horizontal component will be how much? This will be f cos theta, but the value of f cos theta is how much? F was how much? 10. That is 10 into cos 60. Cos 60 value how much? 1 by 2. So it is 5 Newton. So see, when the force is making some angle, then the thrust is decreasing. In the previous case was 10, and here the thrust is how much? 5. So when it makes angle, then the thrust will decrease. And in the third case, see, here the force is acting like this. So there will be no perpendicular component, means no horizontal. Actually you have to say the perpendicular component. Which one? Here this is the perpendicular component. So now perpendicular component means which one? Perpendicular with the surface. Remember this one, perpendicular with the surface. You have to find the perpendicular component with the surface. Okay. Now here there will be no perpendicular component. So that's why the thrust will be how much? Thrust will be 0. Okay. But the value of force in that direction is 10. But the value of thrust is 0. Because there is no perpendicular component. But here it has a perpendicular component. That's why the thrust came over here 5 Newton. Clear? Okay. So 3 cases we read. First one is when the force acts perpendicularly with the surface, then the thrust will be equal to the force. And the second case, when the force is making some angle, means with the increase in angle, we can say the thrust will decrease. Okay. So when the F is making some angle, then the value of thrust will be less than the value of force. Now in third case, see, when the force acts parallel to the surface, then the value of the thrust will be 0. Clear? Now come to the unit. First, the CGS unit of thrust is C, as this is the thrust is one type of force which acts perpendicularly. So obviously the unit of force will be the unit of thrust. So in CGS unit this will be dyne, and in SI unit this will be Newton. Okay, and it is represented by capital N. There is one relation in between dyne and Newton, which is 1 Newton equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. But how this relation came? See, Newton means it is force. We read the Newton's second law of motion, which is F equals to ma. So I will find the relation between CGS and SI. So this is SI, this is CGS. So first you write F equals to, in SI, this is kg meter per second square. So that kg meter per second square I am writing over here into CGS, which is 1000 gram into meter to centimeter, 100 centimeter per second square. It will come 10 to the power 5 gram centimeter per second square, which is called the dyne. Okay, clear? See here, SI unit of force is kg meter per second square, which is called the Newton. This is Newton. And CGS unit of force will be, see, CGS unit of mass, gram, acceleration, CGS unit of acceleration, centimeter per second square, which is called the dyne. So from here this relation came. Means 1 Newton equals to, we can write 1 Newton equals to 10 to the power 5 dyne. Okay. And some another unit of thrust is there, which is called the gravitational unit, and the gravitational unit of the thrust is the kgf in SI and gf in CGS. This is for SI, and 1 kgf equals to, remember, this is 9.8 Newton, and 1 gf equals to 980 dyne. When you will solve the numericals, then that two terms is very important, so remember this one. Now I will start the term which is the pressure. This is one of the most important topic of your class. To clear the concept of pressure, I will give the example. See, the definition all of you know, thrust per unit area is called the pressure. But what is the feelings about the pressure? See, Suppose you consider one person is standing on the sand. There is sand. Okay. See, when that person is standing on a loose sand, then his feet will sink into the sand. But the same person, when the same person lie on the same sand, then the body does not sink into the sand. Why? This explanation will give the idea about the pressure. Means we can say, see, when the person is standing, he is giving some force on the sand, which is called the weight. Okay. And when the person is lying like this, okay, now he is also giving the same weight on the sand. Yes or no? When he is standing on the sand, he is giving the force which is called the weight, and when he is lying, the same force is acting by the person also, that is also called weight. But when he is standing, then his feet will sink into the sand. But here when he is lying, the feet or the body does not sink into the sand. Why? So we can say weight means what? This is one type of force. So when he is standing, then the area will be less, and when he is lying, then the area will be more. So we can say there is a relation in between force and area. That will give the idea about the force. Idea about the pressure. So we can say when he is standing, then the pressure, some quantity is more, not pressure actually. First I will explain. When he is standing, some physical quantity which is more than this one, that physical quantity is called the pressure. Okay, that physical quantity is called the pressure, and the definition you know, thrust per unit area is called the pressure. So thrust per unit area is called the pressure. Okay. Now one idea I can give from here, when the person is standing, the area will be less. Means when the area is less, the pressure will be more. So the definition P, this pressure is represented by P. So P equals to F by A. Okay. When the area is less, then the pressure will be more. See, area is less, pressure is more. That's why the feet sinks into the sand. But here area is more, pressure is less. That's why the body does not sink into the sand. Okay. So we can say that P in directly proportional to F and P inversely proportional to A. Means here when the force increases, then pressure increases, but when the area increases, pressure decreases. There are so many applications of these two terms over here. One by one I will give. Now, what is the unit of pressure? Unit of P. See, P equals to F by A. So here first CGS unit. CGS unit of pressure equals to, we can say, force, means this is dyne per centimeter square, and SI unit will be Newton per meter square, and this Newton per meter square also called the Pascal, which is written as PA. Okay, remember this one. You can write the SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or the Pascal also you can write. Both are correct. Now, what is the definition of Pascal? See, Pascal equals to 1 Newton per meter square. Okay, so by definition we can say this Pascal is the pressure exerted on the surface of 1 meter square area, and when the force, or by the force of 1 Newton, but the direction you have to give, because the definition of pressure is thrust by area. So the direction will be when the force acts normally on it. So you will write the pressure exerted by or on the surface of unit area or 1 meter square area and by the force of 1 Newton perpendicular on it. Okay, I told about the 2 unit, which is the dyne per centimeter square and the Newton per meter square. So what is the relation between them? First one, suppose this is 1 dyne per centimeter square. In terms of Newton per meter square you have to write. Sometimes this numericals comes also. See, 1 dyne equals to, what we get? 1 Newton equals to 10 to the power 5 dyne. Okay, so 1 dyne will be 10 to the power minus 5 Newton. 10 to the power minus 5. This is come Newton. Divided by, because per is given. So centimeter square, centimeter to meter, means divide by 100. Square is there. So this will be 100 into 1 by 100 into 1 by 100. Because centimeter to meter. Okay, clear? Simply math I have applied over here. So this will come 10 to the power minus 5. This is meter square into 10 to the power 4. 2 to 4. So it will come 10 to the power minus 1 Newton per meter square, means 0.1 Newton per meter square. This is the relation in between dyne per centimeter square and Newton per meter square. So you can tell what is the relation between Newton per meter square to down in terms of dyne per centimeter square. That also I will explain. See, here 1 Newton per meter square, that is easy because you know 1 Newton equals 10 to the power 5 dyne. Okay, for divided by meter to centimeter. So it is multiplied by 100. So 100 into 100. So here 5 zeros are there and here 4. So this is 10 dyne per centimeter square. Okay. Other units of pressure are also there. See, the other units also you remember. First one is the bar. The relation is 1 bar equals to 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square, and smaller term, which is the 1 millibar, equals to 1 milli means it is 10 to the power minus 3 bar. See, okay. Now 1 bar equals 10 to the power 5. So we can put 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. So it will come 10 to the power minus 2. 10 to the power minus 3 was there. Minus 3 plus 5, only plus 2 Newton per meter square. Okay. So 1 millibar equals to 10 to the power minus 3 bar also you can write. Otherwise 10 to the power 2 Newton per meter square also you can write. Okay. Clear? Other units also are there. First one is the atmospheric pressure, which is written as the ATM. See, that atmospheric pressure, there is a different part that I will make a separate video on it. Now you learn 1 atmospheric pressure means the 76 centimeter of Hg, means the mercury, means the barometric, when the barometric height is 76 centimeter, then there is a relation H rho G. Then put the value of H is 76, rho is the density of mercury and G is the acceleration due to gravity. Then the value will come near about 1.013 to 10 to the power 5 Pascal, which is the value of 1 atmospheric pressure, means that value of that atmospheric pressure. Now you will just remember 1 ATM equals to 1 atmospheric pressure equals to 76 centimeter of Hg. Means we can write 0.76 meter of Hg, and what I told, from the value, from the relation H rho G, put the value 0.76 into, this is 13,600, then the value will come near about that. I will prove it later. I will make a separate video, don't worry. Then the value will come 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Okay, this is the value of 1 ATM. Now one different unit, which is the 1 torr. equals to 1 millimeter of Hg, and there is a relation in between torr and ATM, which is 1 ATM equals to atmospheric pressure equals to 760 torr. Okay, how this relation came? See, from here we have read 1 ATM equals to 76 centimeter. Convert into millimeter, otherwise here it is given meter to millimeter, means 0.76 into 10 to the power meter to millimeter 10 to the power 3, that will come in millimeter of Hg. Now see here 0.76 is there, that's why 760 millimeter of Hg. See, 1 millimeter of Hg means what? That is the torr, so that's why it will come 760 torr. Clear? Okay. Now, what are the factors on which the pressure depends on? See, there are two factors. First is the area, second is the thrust. Now the question will arise, how the pressure depends on area? See, we read the relation P equals to F upon A, means P is inversely proportional to A, means when area increases, pressure decreases, when area decreases, pressure increases. Okay. Now that I will explain by the two diagrams, means with one numericals. First one is, here I have taken one brick which is placed like this, means the base area is this one, and in the second case this is the base area. Now the length, breadth and height is given. This is in meter. Okay. The area is, to calculate the area, see, to calculate the area means this one we have to take. This is one rectangle, so length into breadth. Now which one will be length? This one. This is the breadth. This equals to this, means 10 into 5. That will be 50 meter square. So what will be the pressure? Pressure equals to F by A. F is given, say 10 Newton, means weight. So this is 10 upon 50, which is 1 by 5. Okay. 1 by 5 is near about, this is in the unit of Newton per meter square. It is near about 0.02. Okay. Because, no sorry, this will come 0.2. Okay. But in the second case, see, the area will be how much? Length is which one? This is 15. The weight is given 10 Newton, but this is 15, and this one how much? This one is this is equals to this 10. So 15 into 10. This will be 150 meters square. Okay. Here the pressure will be P equals to 10 divided by 150. So 1 by 15. Now calculate this one. 1 by 15 will come 0.066667 like this. So take up to this one. This will be Newton per meter square. So you can easily tell that pressure is very less than the first one. So when the area is more, the pressure is less. This is the proof. Now in second case, how the pressure depends on the thrust. See, that I will explain by one numericals also. Suppose you take one more brick of same dimension and placed on it. Then that force also, it will act on the same dimension, means same base area. The base area is how much? 150 meters square. But that time the total force or weight will be 10 plus 10, which is 20 Newton. Okay. So here the pressure will be 20 divided by 150, which will come 2 by 15 equals to 0.133 Newton per meter square, which is twice that of this pressure. Okay. Say larger the thrust on a given area will give the more pressure. Means actually it gets doubled. Why? Because if you multiply by 2 with 0.066, actually 7 are there also. If you take 0.6 and 0.13, then 2 will come. Actually it gets doubled. Multiplied by 2, then 0.13 will come. Okay. Clear? Today's class up to this. In next class I will start the way of increasing pressure and the another remaining part also. So please don't forget to subscribe to get the new videos. Thank you.